Welcome back to Designing AI-Driven Personalized Learning Environments course. In this video, we'll talk about constraint-based models applied in a particular context. We saw that constraint-based model have two particular constraints that is relevance condition and satisfaction condition. Let's go and solve back the same problem we solved in the fraction addition in the rule-based model. Instead of writing a big fraction addition rules, let's have a constraints here. The constraint is that if the current problem is adding fractions, that is, if the relevance condition is a by b plus c by d, then the solution should be a plus c by n. Okay, but the n should be equal to b and d. Both b and d should be equal. Then that's all. We are saying that if you want to add a fractions, you add any way you want. You can find a LCM, you could have a denominator, that's not a problem. But the response I wanted is a plus c by d becomes common number. The common number should be equal to both b and d. So now the question is, if you are not doing, if the number is not common number is not equal to b and d, you can trigger the feedback. If the student is not entering this answer, you can trigger the feedback. That's all. The constraint is very simple. If you want to add up fractions, then there's a condition you have to satisfy. As I mentioned earlier, this constraint-based model has been popularized and used in the SQL tutor by Professor Tanya Mitrovic from University of Canterbury, and it is used for open-ended tasks, for example, like SQL queries. So the goal is to write a SQL query. Okay, the goal is to students to write a SQL query. The query can be something like retrieve all customer names from the database. Okay, so the condition is that the student writes a select statement, because to want to retrieve in the database you have to do a select statement. You should include the form class. The system don't care whether you used all caps or small caps. That is the syntax I will look at it. Or you are going to more space, did you have the from class, doesn't matter. The question is that if you are select, you should have from class. It might have where class, it can be having multiple logics, finding the primary key and mapping it. All these things are fine, but this particular condition I want to test whether student knows whenever they write a select, there should be a from class. That is a condition. Then there can be another relevance and satisfaction condition based on your problem, that they should have a mapping of two tables or one table. Those things can be done. So that's the example of SQL tutor. So we saw two examples. One is a fraction. Come up with the relevance condition, satisfaction condition. Similarly, for the SQL tutor, you should have this, own conditions like that. I hope you would have solved the rule-based model activity in the previous video. I would like to use the same topic or same concept here. Can you create a constraints for the well-structured problem? We shown one for the fractions problem. Can you take the problem which you attempted in the last video in the rule-based model? Attempt to create a constraint, that is relevance condition and satisfaction condition, and create both of them in this particular activity. I hope you wrote the constraints, that is satisfaction relevance conditions, and now you understood what is constraint-based model. So thanks for watching the video. Thank you.